Hi, I'm Michael Chevy Castronova. I'm the business editor at the Gazette. Welcome to our online Gazette Business Awards series of interviews. Our presenting sponsor this year, once again, our friends at True North Companies, their retirement plan consultants and financial advisors. Today, we're going to chat just for a bit with Aaron Horn. He is the executive director of the New Bohemian Innovation Collaborative, or as its friends call it, NewBoCo. Aaron, welcome.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And congratulations on NewBoCo being awarded the 2021 Gazette Business Award for Economic Support. So before we get too far into this and explain what we mean by economic support, could you give us an executive summary of what is NewBoCo and how long has it been around, and what do you people do there exactly?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know the answer, by the way, but I thought I'd ask. Yeah,
I know you know. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for this award. It's a huge honor. So NewBoCo has been around since 2013. Started off as the Iowa Startup Accelerator. That was the name of the nonprofit, and was the state's first time-based accelerator. The typical. Bring a team in, a startup in, and a group of them, a cohort of 10 teams, run them through a program and try and help them grow and succeed. And so, that was the very first thing. But over time, as we saw more gaps in the ecosystem of how to support these startups, we started adding more and more programs. And so several years ago, we ended up changing our name. We're obviously in the NewBo district of Cedar Rapids. So the New Bohemian Innovation Collaborative, or NewBoCo for short. And we primarily focus on programs around entrepreneurship. So we still run the accelerator. In fact, we added an EdTech accelerator in Iowa City. And so, we've got those programs, but we also are very passionate about tech education and corporate innovation. So of the 20 to 30 plus programs that we run, they all kind of fall within those three categories.
This year's Gazette Award specifically is for the Micro Lending Hub. For partnering with Kiva. How did that come about? Had someone at NewBoCo worked with Kiva elsewhere? Or, it's a global program?
Yeah, it's an international nonprofit, Kiva is. And so just conversations around, how do we help underrepresented entrepreneurs, and got in touch with Kiva, started talking to them about their model. And it's obviously a micro loan platform so that folks can, raise loans essentially up to $15,000 for entrepreneurs who are, historically maybe have just been told no before, can't get a bank loan, don't have the greatest credit history, for example, myriad of reasons why maybe they've been told no before. And this essentially is a platform that allows them to raise money, not just from friends and family. And this is not a GoFundMe. This is an actual loan that gets paid back, but also the community at large, and people who want to invest in underrepresented entrepreneurs.
So when you say it goes up to 15,000, what's the smallest amount, and who's supplying the money? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, so the smallest would be a $1,000 loan up to a $15,000 loan. These are entrepreneurs that maybe they need to buy some, equipment or something like that to really get their business off the ground or to get it started. And they're raising money from, it's an online platform where anybody can loan them as little as $25 or more. And it's usually folks in the community that want to support these entrepreneurs, give them a loan and understand that, they will get their money back, but it really helps them kind of get started with their business of what they're doing. And so, when I say underrepresented entrepreneurs, these are typically women-owned, BIPOC-owned, entrepreneurs with low income background, things like that. And so that's what Kiva says 80% of their loans will be in those categories for NewBoCo. That's what we're passionate about. So all of our loans fall under those categories. And essentially, but anybody can jump in and participate and give a loan.
Have you seen any kind of, it's up and running now, yeah?
Yeah, we had our first, we just started in June of 2021. And we had our very first loan be successfully completed as of yesterday, I believe, raised the full $8,000 something. So Jessica in Dubuque, which is, she's launching a magazine for creatives in an online community. And so that just got fully funded as of yesterday. So we're excited about that. It's our first one. And, Caitlin Byers is our capital access manager for Kiva.
I was going to ask about Caitlin. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been super busy talking to lots of entrepreneurs across the state.
And so you haven't seen a pattern yet, obviously, of who would be applying for these, but can you give us, from what you know of Kiva from elsewhere, I mean, are these going to be mostly retail sorts of things or service industries? Are they going to be restaurants? What have you seen? What do they see elsewhere?
Yeah, a lot of all of that. So it could certainly be, somebody starting up a mobile food truck, or a mobile barbershop business, or like I said, this creative magazine, regional magazine that's going to be dedicated to the Midwest, for example, which is what's being run out of Dubuque. So it could be anything. And a lot of times it is someone that needs money for, like I said, a piece of equipment or something that, a $10,000, commercial oven or something like that. That's kind of a deal breaker. You can't really get it off the ground without that. But maybe you've gone to the bank and been told no for the loan. So this is an alternative to get that up and running. And then when they show they pay that loan back, that's obviously setting them up for success to go back to the bank and say, okay, I got this loan through Kiva. I paid it all back. Now I've grown my business. I'd like to go bigger. And that gives them something to stand on when they talk to the bank the next time around.
You've set a track record then showing that, yes, you haven't gone out of business and you have customers, and it's a good thing. So here's kind of a trick question. So when you folks at NewBoCo were talking about this and talking about Kiva and a micro lending program, why did you think there was a need for such a program here? I mean, what turned that light on for you?
Honestly, just looking around and listening. NewBoCo historically has focused on tech startups, and essentially helping these tech startups, whether they're working on something with software or hardware. But there is a lot of the local economy, especially and in Iowa, that is small business. And we've never really had a program that was a great fit for small businesses or mom and pop businesses. And so there's been great resources for mentoring those businesses with SBDC and lots of plenty of great organizations that help support them. So we would point them in that direction. But the thing that wasn't getting filled was that access to capital. And so one of the important pieces of Kiva is, yes, we're providing a platform that helps them raise the funds, but we're also connecting them with those local resources to help them. So it's not just raise the money, you're good to go. It's ongoing mentorship and just helping them, with that. And so we need to partner with other organizations that offer those services. And so that's what we're trying to do essentially across the state. So Kiva typically has been city hubs. So you've got Kiva Dallas, you've got Kiva San Diego, Kiva Los Angeles, for example. And we really made the argument to Kiva that we really need to be Kiva Iowa and cover the entire state. We're obviously, 3 million people across the state versus 3 million people in one city, for example. And that really gives us the ability to look across the entire, state ecosystem and find those partners that can help mentor them and support them while we bring the access to capital piece.
And if I wanted to apply for one of these loans or get started, how do I go about doing that?
Yeah, great question. I mean, the best place to start is to go to www.newbo.co/Kiva, and that's KIVA. So newbo.co/KIVA.
All right, very good. So NewBoCo, we'll be in the almost final quarter of 2021. And what do you see? What magic things do you see coming up that you can tell us about for, 2022 or whenever?
Yeah, great question. A lot of what we're looking at right now is how do we take all the things that we've learned in the past 8 years in Eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids area, and how do we expand that to more places across the state that are looking for things like this? We're getting more and more questions from economic developers across the state saying, hey, we've been watching what you've been doing out there in Cedar Rapids, and we'd really like either all of that or a piece of that or part of that here, because we see the need for developing, workers in, future ready Iowa type positions like IT and things like that. How do we bring a code school here? How would we have an accelerator here, all across the state? And so we're starting to talk more and more about, okay, how can we take the things that we've learned here? And you don't just copy and paste that into different communities, because each community is unique and has their own set of needs. So how do we work with economic developers to say what parts of what we've done here would be applicable to where you are across Iowa? Because again, our mission is accelerating world-changing ideas from Iowa. And so from the beginning, we've had the entire state in mind of how we can help. And so that's what we're looking for next year, is how can we grow some of the programs that we've done here and make them applicable to other communities across the state.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you again, Aaron, for taking time to stop by today. Thanks again to True North, our presenting sponsor. To you watching, please take time to look at the other interviews in our 2021 Gazette Business Awards series, conducted by Gazette reporters and by me, of all our recipients. You can see those right here on this very website, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.